Hi guys, how you doing? So I bet you're wondering why I have the color wheel up here, and I'm going to tell you in a second. You know, Adobe Illustrator has some really amazing color tools, and I want to share these with you. Primarily because I think that it's a really good idea to show you and demonstrate as opposed to have you just pick it up from the book. So I want to show you some really outstanding techniques that I've been using professionally for many years. So this is kind of a little glimpse into my personal workflow. However, would be considered an industry best standard practice. So I really want you to think about the color tools I'm going to show you. Now, one thing I want to make really clear is that, back in the day, color used to be tough. I mean, we used to have color swatches in our studios, books this thick, and color chips, books of color chips this thick, and we would page through them, and you would find this color, and you would say, I think that color communicates this message really well, but let me find another color that is harmonious with it. So we'd put that chip down there, and we'd go through our books, and then we'd find these traditional books, color books, and we'd page through, and we'd find color combinations, and it took days, if not weeks, to come up with a really good color schemes to effectively communicate your message. Those days are gone, and kind of thankfully so, because right now the color in Illustrator and digital color choices have never been easier or more effective. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is this. I want you to understand that we're going to be using two tools. We're going to be using what is called Adobe Color. It's called Adobe Cc Color. It used to be called Adobe Cooler, Kuhler, for those of you who have heard of that. It's now called, here, I'll show you. It's called the Adobe Color CC. And I'm going to show you how this tool works. It's a fantastic tool, and it really has some phenomenal features. But to do that, I think I'm going to close this window down a little bit so I can fit everything in the window here. Okay. All right, so let's see how this works. Okay, what I'm going to do after that is I'm going to go right into Illustrator, and I'm going to show you some color tools right within Illustrator that will ensure harmony in your color choices. Let's take a look at Adobe Cc Color CC first. Okay, so it's just simply, let me bring this down here. It's simply color.adobe.com. Okay, so you get in here and you have this opening page, and what does this tell you? This is a complimentary, because you can see I've got my color rule right here as complimentary. So as you know, complementary is opposite sides of the color wheel. So if I go to green over here, of course, I'm going to get reds as my complement, right? If I go to orange, of course, I'm going to get blues as my complement. So this gives you some shades and some tints and some really good color combinations, harmonious in the complementary color scheme or color rule. Okay. Conversely, we can go over here. We can go to color Triad. We can go to all these different rules. Let's go to analogous. That's always an interesting one. All right, and then let's go to Monochrome Attic. Of course, that's going to be Monochrome Attic, and so on and so forth. So you have these color rules where you can pick your color and really get down in here and get some color choices. Okay, that's not where it is. That's just the start. Okay, what can you do from here? You can actually do some really cool things. You can, well, first of all, sign in with your Adobe ID. You can actually import an image here. Okay, if you're using an image in one of your pieces. And this wouldn't be applicable to vector illustration because we're not using images. But if you have an image, an actual picture, a photograph that you want to use in one of your pieces, you can import it right in here into Adobe Color CC, and it will sample colors out of the image and give you a harmonious color palette based on, excuse me, on the image. I want to show you something else. See this right here, Explore? Well, you can save themes right here in My Themes. So, and that, you just explore through that. But look at Explore. This is really cool. This has all these different color palettes. So what I want to do is, let's say I want to say, let me find a cool color palette. That's it doesn't matter. That's a cool color palette right there. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to say, this is called Theme of Color 32. It's a made color palette in this program. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to say Save. All right, I'm going to save that guy. Save it to library. Okay, it's going. Let's call this test, just so you can see test. And I'm going to save this to my library. Okay. Now this is an Adobe product, so this is going to go right into my color library in Illustrator. So I'm going to say save. Okay. All right, and there's my saved theme. Let's go to Illustrator and see where it's at. Okay, there's my color themes. And hold on one sec. that. So we're back over here in Illustrator, okay, and I'm going to go to my color tools, my color palette right here, and you see where it says swatches. Well, I'm just going to click over here where it says libraries. Okay, so I have saved that color palette to my library, right? So let's go over here and check to see if it's there. So let's go to libraries, and remember we called the test. There it is. How cool. Let me show you what you can do with that real quick. Let's go like this, and I'm just going to say, let's go like this. I'm just going to duplicate a couple of these. Okay, and let's do this. Let's just go through here and say, all right, wow. I can go ahead and create my own color palette for my illustrations that is going to show perfect harmony all the way through. And there you have it. There's that color palette in action. I just created it, imported it to Illustrator, and now I'm able to use it. Wonderful tool. Okay, one more thing I want to show you, and here we have, I'm just going to show you, let's do my same thing where I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate my, whoops, didn't mean to do that. Let's go ahead and duplicate my boxes. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to show you one more thing. Okay, so here we have, sorry about this, my software is not behaving. Okay, there we go. So I've got these 4 squares with the same colors, right? Now, what I want to do here is I want to allow Illustrator to assign, not to assign, but to establish some color harmonies, and we can do that right in Illustrator. Suppose this is my illustration. I'm looking at it, I'm going, boy, I sure need some colors here. So let's do this. I'm going to come to my swatches right over here, okay, and I'm going to go to libraries, and right now I'm going to come over here, wait a second, right over here, I'm sorry, I should be in swatches, in the swatches panel. I'm going to come over to the right here, it's drop down right here. I'm going to click that, and I'm going to come down to the bottom where it says Open Swatch Library. Okay, and then when we open Swatch Library, you can see all of these different color palettes that you can use in your work. Let me give you an example. Okay, right now I'm just going to go to it. Okay, art history period, you have celebration colors, color books, you have color properties, you have corporate colors, default swatches, food colors, earth tones. Okay, let's say earth tones. Let's say, okay, let's go to earth tones, and we have this, because I press that and I open it up and look at these wonderful palettes that come. Okay, so you can use any one of these palettes. For example, I can come right in here and start selecting colors to use in creating harmony in these palettes. Okay, and let's just go to the bottom one, for example, and let's just go ahead and select some colors and earth tones, and look, there's a wonderful, harmonious, effective color choices based on earth tones. All right, let's show you one more. Okay, let me get out of there, go back to swatches, go back to that drop down, boom, boom, right over there, open swatch library. Let's go to art history, okay? I'm very impressed or very partial to the Baroque period, so let's go to Baroque. Wow, look at the color palettes. And of course, you can just go start assigning colors from the same palette to ensure color harmonies. Okay, so there would be a Baroque color palette. It's phenomenal, right? Okay, guys, so that's my recommendations for color. I didn't want to go over 10 minutes, and I'm pretty good. I'm only at 9. So that's my supplemental excuse me, that's my supplemental lecture for color. Okay, so if you have any questions on this, please let me know. Okay, but this should be a very, very, very effective technique for you guys to use in your work. All right, awesome. Thank you.